Section of the 2019 Justin and Tyler Movie Awards. We now move on to the actresses, our best actresses of 2019. Same format, 3 honorable mentions each, and then we do number 3, number 2, all the way up to number 1.
Okay, my honorable mentions are Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers, Anna de... what is it, Knives Out?
Oh, damn, you asked me the question.
Anna de Armas?
Yes,
there you
go.
Anyway,
yes.
Whatever.
Yep.
In Knives Out, and then my last one is Rebecca Ferguson in Dr. Sleep.
Ooh, very nice.
But Jennifer Lopez, it was just entertaining to watch her be charming and a bit of a badass. She was well suited to that role.
Mm-hmm.
And she did some heavy lifting, and I don't really associate Jennifer Lopez with being a great actress. She's fine.
Yeah.
But most people that get anywhere in Hollywood are fine. So, and then for the girl in Knives Out, a surprise pick. I mean, she was good anyway. She was really good anyway. She showed a lot of depth, but my only real exposure to her up until then was a very bit part in Blade Runner 2049. I might have seen her in something else, but she certainly didn't register with me. Mm-hmm. So then to see her front and center doing not most of the heavy lifting, because Daniel Craig was there too, but doing a lot of heavy lifting was really enjoyable, and it makes me want to see more of what she's in. And then for Rebecca Ferguson and Dr. Sleep, just love seeing a real charming villain.
Yes.
I say charming, I guess, a lot when I talk about performances, but that's what it comes down to. She's just charming and seductive, and villainous. Like a villain should be just evil, but kind of in a way you want to cheer for because she's so deliciously evil.
Yeah.
That it's nice seeing her. And then she cares about her people and stuff too, so she has a little bit of, like kind of being a mother almost to these people. And
yeah, Rebecca Ferguson was a very, 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 very late cut for me from my honorable mentions. I legitimately had her in as of last night, and she wound up just getting cut off the list last night. And actually, I will go. Spoilers for my list. Anna de Armas is actually on my list as well, because a name that I really was not overly familiar with prior to that. And again, like you said, she had her portion in Blade Runner 2049.
She was just that really pretty girl.
Yeah, exactly.
In 2049, like, geez, she's gorgeous.
And then now she shows up in this, and it's like, oh, like she can actually do stuff actress-wise. Like she's actually talented, and I really want to see her in more things. So yeah, Anna de Armas winds up being on mine as well. Jennifer Lopez is in fact on mine as well, and that was the one that I was just like, I was not excited to see the Jennifer Lopez stripper movie. I really wasn't.
Neither was I.
And a friend of mine really wanted to see it, so I was like, all right, cool, I'll go see it. And then left the movie and was just like, she commanded every second that she was on the screen. Like anytime she's on the screen, your eyes are fixated on whatever the Jennifer Lopez character is doing, because she really embodied that role and really took it and ran with it and did some really interesting and fun things with it. So it was a really strong performance. And my other honorable mention this year is, I guess, a bit of a pick. It's a pick just for me. It's just a Justin play. Amanda Seyfried in The Art of Racing in the Rain. She is far and away the best part of that movie, and it is far and away the best Amanda Seyfried I have ever seen, because she got to play a deeply emotional character, more so than I've ever seen her get to play in anything else that I've seen her in. She got to kind of run the gamut of emotions and got to show that she actually has some muscles as a legit actress. And it was far and away the best Amanda Seyfried I've ever seen, and again, she was definitely the best part of a movie that was a little bit on the underwhelming side. So, Jennifer Lopez, Amanda Seyfried, and Ana de Armas are my honorable mentions. So we actually got some crossover.
Yeah, we got two honorable mentions.
Which is fantastic.
That doesn't happen that often. Alright, so my number 3 is Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story. I mean, this is the best 1-2 punch of Marriage Story of the year is Driver and Scarlett Johansson. And this is one of Johansson's best performances ever. But we knew she was a good actress because she's done really interesting non-Marvel stuff anyway. I mean, she's good as Black Widow, certainly. But she's done interesting non-Marvel stuff. But I actually think that Adam Driver beat her in this movie. And that's a testament more to Adam Driver than it is, Scarlett Johansson. Because, her performance was amazing, but not number 1 amazing.
Right. But
she was still an important part of the equation of how that movie worked, because she did a lot of subtle things, and she never overplayed it. She cried when she had to, but it never felt forced. She's just a very good actress. And I don't know if people realize that, because she's mostly known for, Black Widow, and people like her, but I don't know if she's necessarily known for the actual good performances that she puts in. Because she does take these smaller or weirder movies and does take chances.
Right.
Doesn't always work out for her, like Ghost in the Shell. Even though she was good in that movie.
I was going to say, she's more known for making people on the internet mad for taking roles.
Yeah. She's a great actress.
Absolutely.
So she's my number 3.
It is definitely the first thing you think of with ScarJo is the Black Widow of it all, and she's played that character so well for so long. I guess it makes sense. But like you say, she does definitely, one of the first times that I realized, holy cow, Scarlett Johansson has a depth that I'm not giving her credit for was her. Back in 2013.
She was in her. I didn't see it.
Opposite Joaquin Phoenix, right? Where she's not even on screen. She's just the voice of this AI that Joaquin Phoenix essentially falls in love with, and they have a relationship, right? But it's with her kind of then also developing self-awareness and whatever. And I was like, oh my god, just with her voice, she is commanding this.
She is a good voice for that kind of thing. She
does. Yeah, absolutely. My number 3 best actress of 2019, and I'm very surprised that this name shows up on my list. It's KEIRA Knightley. KEIRA Knightley in Official Secrets. And I actually watched this movie last night. It has the dubious distinction of being the last movie from this year that I was able to watch and get in under the wire for the awards. So Official Secrets is the story that KEIRA Knightley plays a British intelligence agent, but not really an agent. She's more one of the people that kind of transcribes conversations to see if there is any information that may be of use to British intelligence in order to save British lives and everything like that. So she works for a larger company. And they come across the memo. A memo is sent to them. Basically, the story is while the Americans and British were trying to gain UN approval to declare war on Iraq. And basically she comes across this memo that says, we need you to spy on these particular countries, which were members of the United Nations Security Council, to basically try to come up with dirt on them to coerce them into voting yes, so that they could declare war on Iraq. And then they just went and declared war on Iraq anyway, because apparently none of that shit matters. But KEIRA Knightley is phenomenal in this. It is head and shoulders the best KEIRA Knightley I have ever seen, and it was a depth of performance that I didn't think in 2019, where she's 34, 35 years old, 15 years into her acting career. I didn't necessarily know that she still had this performance in her. But man, whether it's boisterous moments, subtle moments, moments where nothing's even being said, the facial expressions, the body language, her performance in this movie is so damn good. And that was one of the reasons that I had Official Secrets kind of circled, and I wanted to make sure that I got it in under the wire, and I just got it in after work last night, and her performance in particular did not disappoint. So KEIRA Knightley's my number 3, and for the girl from Pirates of the Caribbean, I didn't think she'd wind up on this list.
That was an off-the-wall pick.
It is,
That's
yeah.
Because I don't know that I saw that in any lists that I was looking at. Maybe I did, but
I don't think so. She might have got a Globe nomination, but I don't think she did.
my number 2 is Julianne Moore and Gloria Bell. I only watched that movie because I wanted a world where I could talk about Julianne Moore, because I always want to talk about Julianne Moore. We have a mutual admiration for her.
I love her.
Yeah,
she's phenomenal.
She is phenomenal. This might have been deserving of the top spot. There's maybe a little bit of personal bias, even more so than Julianne Moore, that kind of helped me, that shaped my number 1. But this is a really great performance. It's not atypical of what she does, because she generally plays these challenging, flawed characters where she has to juggle a bunch of stuff at once, and she does so perfectly because she's one of the best actresses working. So not surprised by this great performance, but always pleased when I get to talk about Julianne Moore a little bit.
My number 2, Best Actress of 2019, and I'm calling an audible.
Uh-oh.
I'm pulling a Tyler.
Yeah,
and I'm calling an audible. This was originally my number 1, was going to be my number 1 as we sat down to record this, but I have changed my mind.
Yay.
So, my number 2 Best Actress of 2019 is Lupita Nyong'o in Us. And I genuinely believed from the first 5 minutes that movie started that Lupita Nyong'o was going to drive that movie and command that movie from a performance perspective. Obviously, Jordan Peele and his phenomenal direction is what drives the movie, but it's Lupita Nyong'o and the way that she performs that character as she's coming to the realization of what happened to her as a kid, or what she thinks happened to her as a kid. Just the way that she commands every second that she's on screen in that movie. I feel like I'm saying that a lot when it comes to the performances, but I mean, it's just sort of the best way to encapsulate what I'm talking about here. I found her performance absolutely captivating. I think we differed in opinion a little bit on that when we watched it, but Lupita Nyong'o winds up being my number 2 Best Actress of 2019.
Yeah, I'll complicate the audible a little bit by saying that, like, I considered her for an honorable mention because of Us, but she was also in a movie, Little Monsters, which wasn't an amazing movie, but she was good in it. I enjoyed watching her in it. Mm-hmm. But I had small issues with some moments of her performance.
Okay.
In Us, I feel like the raspy voice, I know it made sense to the movie, I get that. But there was certain times that she used it where it sounded really silly to me. But yeah, the reason I didn't put her on was because I couldn't in good conscience put her on a list where I had a slight issue with one of her performances.
That's fair.
It's a slight issue, but, you know, I only had 6 spots, and I was like, well, I don't want to put one on where I had an issue at all with her performance. But she was really good, and then if you factor in Little Monsters, I would say she had a pretty good year. My number 1 is Naomi Watts in The Wolf Hour and Lucy.
Ooh.
I said in my number 2 that there's a personal bias. Naomi Watts was actually my favorite actress until Emily Blunt sort of surpassed her.
Right.
However, when I watched Naomi Watts, I started thinking, well, maybe she is still my favorite actress. It's always a toss-up between the two. And I think Naomi Watts had a really good year, and I could be wrong here, but I also feel that maybe she's underrated. I mean, she's like 50, 51, still pumping out good performances. Not necessarily great movies. In fact, The Wolf Hour is not even a very good movie.
Okay.
It had a good premise. It just didn't stick the landing. But her performance was fantastic because it's basically just her in her apartment or whatever. And she has to do all that acting, and there's very little outside influence. There's some, but it's just her having to, you know, do all the work herself pretty much. And then I watched Lucy, which made it a body of work thing too, because she was really good in that. Okay. She just plays complicated characters really well. And while I don't always love her performances, I've liked her a lot since maybe Mulholland Drive back in the day. Anyway, Naomi Watts is either my second favorite actress or my first. Right now, she's my first because of recency bias.
Right, there you go.
But But yeah, I really love Naomi Watts, and it actually made me very pleased. Once I saw The Wolf Hour, I was like, she has a shot here. And then I was like, I'll try to watch Lucy, even though it's not a movie that I necessarily would have watched. But yeah, she was really good. She put in two good performances this year. So yeah, Naomi Watts is my number one.
Excellent. So no, I was way off in what I thought our consensus number one was going to be. Yeah, fair enough. I know you said it. You're just like, we're not going to have a consensus number one. My number one Best Actress of 2019 came along late in the year, and it is the one single performance that dethroned Lupita Nyong'o, who had been in that spot for the majority of the year. Yeah. Basically, since when did Us come out? March?
Early.
Something like that. So, I mean, she'd been in that spot for a long time this year, and the one performance that came along and knocked her out of it was Saoirse Ronan in Little Women. Saoirse Ronan plays Jo Marsh, who is basically the main character, the somewhat semi-autobiographical book. So basically, she's somewhat playing the author, and she is so phenomenal, and plays off of Timothée Chalamet, and off of Emma Watson, and off of every great performance in that movie. She plays off of each and every person differently, plays off of each and every person so well. She has such chemistry. I want to see her and Timothée Chalamet in everything together, because they have such phenomenal chemistry with each other. But in every little bit, in every little moment, and as that character changes and as the times change, she stays so tremendous with every single thing that she says and does. Saoirse Ronan in Little Women, my number one. Best Actress, Best Performance by a Female in 2019.
Yeah, I wanted to see Little Women just because I knew there'd be a performance in there, and I was right. But I never got to see it, so I can't confirm this. But I did want to see it. I just didn't get to.
And she's been in a number of things that I've really enjoyed in the past. Like when she really jumped on the scene for me, I think was Hannah. Might have been a little bit before Hannah. Not that Hannah was a phenomenal movie, but I really enjoyed Saoirse Ronan in it.
That's the thing. You can get like an okay movie, but still have like an amazing performance buried in there.
Exactly.
And I like when you find those, like with Naomi Watts in The Wolf Hour. It's not a very okay movie, but her performance was great.
Amanda Seyfried in Art of Racing in the Rain, same deal.
Yeah. So those types of performances are fun to find.
There you have it, folks. Those are our Best Actresses of 2019. Naomi Watts and Saoirse Ronan take the top spots for us this year. We've only got one People Award left to go, and it is our Best Directors of 2019. Who takes the top spot? Find out now.